Bellator 249 going to take place this weekend. We are going to cover the main card, and the first fight is SAAD AWAD versus MANDEL NALLO. Let's analyze MANDEL NALLO. Now under the nickname Red Garbage, MANDEL NALLO, 31 years of age, 6 foot tall, 75 is his reach, fighting out of Vancouver, British Columbia. His head coach is FREIRE. He fought at Bellator on 3 occasions. He turned the lights out on Alec Williams Carrington Banks and lost to Willis via leg kicks. Very skillful with chokes, great striker. You can call him an all-round fighter. He squares off against SAAD AWAD, Bellator Season 8 lightweight tournament runner-up, and the guy with most losses in Bellator history, 10, the former Gladiator Challenge and the Titans of the Pentagon champ. So, looking back at SAAD AWAD, he is a real Bellator vet. He competes for a very long time. He holds victories over Giuliano De Lorenzi, Will Brooks, for example, Sergio Rios, Joy Duarte, Evangelista Santos, Ryan Couture, but he is on a super cold streak with losses to Benson Henderson, Brandon Gertz, Guiti Amucci, Paul Daly. SAAD AWAD is riding on a very cold streak. 73.5 is his reach, and when we take a look at his performance, we can notice that SAAD AWAD is actually a good finisher, but when it comes to cardio, well, it hasn't been the greatest in the last few outings. MANDEL now on the other side, he has never fought to judge scorecards or decisions, so it's kinda questionable which way is it going to go. But right now I see MANDEL now as a very great talent, so I'll give him advantage into this one. And the next fight is Ricky Bandejas versus Leandro HIGO. Ricky Bandejas riding a score 13-4, 5'10", 70 is his reach, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida. He also competes in Bellator for a very long time. He arrived from CFFC 69. He holds notable victories over James Gallagher, Ahmed Kairetli, Franz Melambeau, but losses to Juan Arculeta, Pechi Mix and Sergio Pettis. On the other side, Leandro HIGO is a very much decorated Brazilian mixed martial artist fighting out of Rio Grande do Norte, riding a score of 19-4. The majority, he's also fighting in Bellator for we can say a long time, and he lost to Eduardo Dantas, Darian Caldwell and Aaron Pico, but defeated Joy Taimanglo and Sean Bunch. Looking back at his records, the majority of his wins came via submission, and one submission loss. So comparing him to Ricky Bandejas, we can see that he is better on the ground, while Ricky Bandejas is very much better when it comes to stand-up strikes. And if the fight remains standing, it's gonna be victory for Ricky Bandejas. Other than that, victory for Leandro HIGO. 72 inches is Leandro HIGO's reach. I kinda believe that Leandro HIGO might outwork Ricky Bandejas into this one. I also believe that Leandro HIGO is going to win this one, because I believe his stamina is slightly better, and yeah, if it advances to the later rounds, it's gonna go for him. And PATRICKY FREIRE versus JALEEL Willis. PATRICKY FREIRE, or I like to call him one of Pitbull brothers, fighting out of Natal, Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil, 23 wins, 9 losses, and PATRICKY FREIRE is actually Bellator Season 4 lightweight tournament runner-up and Season 10 lightweight tournament runner-up, but the guy also with most knockouts in Bellator history, also rising fighting runner-up. Got to say that this guy turned the lights out on many fighters, including Josh Thompson, Derek Campos, Roger Huerta, Tatsuya Kawajiri, Luis Gustavo. I mean, believe me, if the guy keeps the fight standing, it's gonna be very, very hard to defeat him. He's a real Bellator veteran. He had some ups and downs, some losses to big names like Eddie Alvarez, for example, Derek Anderson, Michael Chandler, but he goes for all or nothing. PATRICKY is known for all the heart of this world, a devastating striker, very, very fearsome fighter. On the other side, JALEEL Willis is a tactician expert, tactical expert. That's JALEEL Willis. He outworked Dakota Bush, James Warfield Lane, James Horn, Vinicius de Jesus, and this is his second Bellator outing. In his first outing, he defeated Omar Johnson. then competed in some minor promotions. I just see Patricky FREIRE winning this fight, as I see Patricky FREIRE as a better striker. Jaleel Willis' only advantage is the cardio, but I don't think the round will last long enough. The match will last long enough for him to show his superb cardio, and then we reached the main event of the evening. CRIS CYBORG versus ARLENE BLENCOWE. CRIS CYBORG, you all know her, the only woman to win Invicta FC, Strikeforce FC, Bellator and UFC title. She is riding on a superb score of 22 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest. The former, I didn't know this until recently, the former World Jiu-Jitsu champ, that's CRIS CYBORG, but she is predominantly a fabulous striker. And you know, CRIS CYBORG only lost to Amanda Nunes and Erika Paes, only 2 losses in her whole career. She lost to Amanda Nunes at UFC 232 via punch, but she is one of the most perfect punchers in the history of females MMA. Great finisher, great cardio expert, great cardio machine. She pressures her opponents, pushes the pace, keeps them busy, attacks with barrage of hooks, kicks and violent punches, so really violent striking machine. Now she squares off against southpaw kickboxer and boxer ARLENE BLENCOWE. ARLENE BLENCOWE's reach is 66 inches, while CYBORG's reach is 68 inches, which means she's gonna have the stand-up advantage. 13 wins and 7 losses for ARLENE BLENCOWE. She fought for WIB, Women's International Boxing Association World Welterweight title, where she lost to Tori Nelson. In MMA, she's on a great streak with wins over Amber Leibrock, Amanda Bell and Leslie Smith. She lost to Julia Budd for Featherweight World Championship, but she's also the Storm MMA Women's Featherweight Champ. Very great finisher, amazing on the ground. We can't expect submissions here. Submissions are not going to happen. I mean, despite CYBORG is better on the ground with submissions, this is not going to be a submission fight. This is going to be toe-to-toe fight, trading barbs until the last final bell. These two girls are going to put on a show, they're going to fight, they're going to take part in violent stand-up war. I think CYBORG is better in clinching. I mean, ARLENE BLENCOWE only has faster punches, but CYBORG is stronger and more perfect fighter, so I'm gonna root for CYBORG here. I just believe CYBORG is going to win via stoppage, but you never know. My pick for this one is CRIS CYBORG.